So I spent the last 3 days trying to get a video going, but it failed. It miserably failed because my lighting here, as it stands, it is no good at all. And I swear, man, if I make a video, the only thing that you're gonna see is probably gonna be my, I don't know, my skin complexion. No details. It's that bad, man. It's that bad. There's shadows everywhere. So I just had to sacrifice it, and well, screw it, man. I'm just making audio now. So this little, for lack of a better word, let's call it segment. So this little segment right here, it's called Why I Use Linux. First of all, I accepted the challenge of Gardiner, the Linux gamer, because I love Linux. I would like my channel to be some sort of multi-purpose channel with like tech, with music, with funny things, with video games and stuff like that, and just sort of like an experimentation of the kind of things I can come up with. But first and foremost, since I love technology, well, let's make my channel about that as well. And this is a perfect Kickstarter video. This is a perfect video to get things flowing. Everybody that uses Linux would say this thing first, hands down. Linux, the reason why I love Linux, one of the reasons why I love Linux is obviously because of privacy and security. Obviously, okay? Because with Linux, you get, I guess, the modularity to just build your system your way, to know exactly how it's gonna operate. Well, what do I mean? Well, think about it like Legos. Linux is like Legos, literally, like you build it. If you choose to build it like the Arch Linux route, you know exactly what you put in your system, resulting in security and privacy. Obviously you're not gonna have any third-party service running in the background. You're not gonna have anything collecting information anonymously, like some software do. Well, you might have that, but at the very least you will know already. So that's one of the advantages of Linux. Hence you're less vulnerable to things out there, because since you're not, let's say, using Windows or Windows-based software, like nothing's really gonna affect you much. Even if you use Wine, really, most people nowadays just use Play on Linux for their Wine habits, and Play on Linux already makes some sort of virtual drive. I guess that's an added layer of security. And yeah, man, you know what you put in, you know what you're gonna get. You know what your system's doing at all times. That's one of the reasons why I love Linux. The second reason why I love Linux is customizability. To the people that know me personally, they know I'm about that. Give me something that has options, and the first thing I will do, just go to the option and just tweak, and just see how far I could take whatever device that I have. Just customize the whole experience. This thing is a highlight. They have to have that look. To satisfy how is it going to operate. What do I mean? Well, let's say I just have a machine that I don't know, that's like a storage server. Okay, I'm running Samba, I'm running NFS, all that good stuff. And yeah, I could do this with a terminal, and just like have my way around it with the terminal. But the thing is that, let's say for some reason I cannot access the terminal, right? Most likely I'm gonna access it remotely, but let's say I can't. Well, I just want to be able to boot up my machine and be greeted with some sort of login screen, right? Let's say run XFCE, and boom, just have that desktop appear with a certain look, with certain shortcuts, with certain things, very minimal stuff, but that's gonna help me for whatever things that I need to do to that machine. Well, yeah, Linux, man, Linux. The third reason why I love Linux is, of course, how lightweight it is. Obviously, you make it however you want to make it. If you want to make your system run 1,000 things at the same time, whatever, it's your choice. But me personally, I like the feel of a lightweight system. I like the feel of just, you know, clicking and then just having this thing almost instantaneously just pop up like, you know. With Linux, you get that a lot. You get way less overhead, so things have the room to operate as they would while running smoothly. Perfect example with Windows. To do certain things, you need some third-party, you know, programs. I mean, of course, with Linux, you need that as well, but with Linux, you get more of like an integrated feeling. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense here. For example, since in Linux, you could run a lot of things from the terminal straight up. You could run things like Xflux, you know, to just kick in whenever it darkens outside so that your eyes will not feel the strain. You could run things like X input to automatically, well, I guess you could make that automatically, but point is, you could run that to disable certain peripherals that you're not using, and you know, you just take out certain features. You could also run IRC, the internet relay chat, to communicate with people, you know, all this at a terminal level. Okay, you could run HTOP, that's kind of like the equivalent to Task Manager, but you know, with more pizzazz, as I call it. Like everything is right there, because since like the TTY is just, I don't know, man, it's right there. With Windows, it feels like there's a lot of things in the middle, and to my experience, it's not as well integrated as Linux. You know, because Linux is all about the command line and stuff like that, and it's right in your face. You know, you have to look no further, you know. So in my opinion, this results in efficiency, and you know, you could have things just operating there without clutter. You know, if you don't need a GUI, then why have it there, right? You could get the command line interface version of that program. Another reason as to why I love Linux is its authenticity. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, since it's very modular, right, you get to dictate how the system will operate. I said that before, but only this time, let's talk about the workflow, man. The actual operation. For instance, I'm a musician, and well, all my equipment here is like 100% supported in Windows, and they all work to their fullest in software like Pro Tools and things like that, which in Linux, well, we don't have that. But since I made the choice to run Linux, I've become quite knowledgeable of certain things. The first thing that just blew my mind, it was just the jack server. Oh shit. In Windows, we got something called ASIO for All, which is like a low latency driver for audio production. In Linux, there's Jack, and I think Jack is for Windows too, but I'm not too sure. But it's not as popular, you know, as it is in Linux. So, anyways, so Jack, the Jack audio server, it's like, for me, it's like ASIO for All, but on steroids, because you could do so much things in that. Like, you could route things, you could just further tweak your preferences, you know. Like, of course, there's the buffer size, but there's also how many buffers the hardware is gonna have. There's also what interface your card is gonna have, you know, for like this purpose, for like output. And there's also one for input. It's freaking crazy, man. It's freaking crazy. And with that, along with a little script called alsa_out, I can make a lot of things play my way. I have like 3 sound cards in my computer, and I use them all at the same time. Why do I use them all at the same time? Well, I'm gonna make a separate video, hopefully a video. Yes, it will be a video. I will make a separate video about that because this is my multi-purpose machine here, and I use this for audio production, I use this for gaming, I use this to watch programs, you know, to watch anime, all that shit, man. I use this system for everything. So back to the topic at hand. Yeah, man, the authenticity. You could really come up with some glorious workflows using Linux, whether you edit video, edit audio, you know, documents, program, whatever it is. You could make a lot of things happen here in this this operating system. It's all about just learning, man. And I guess that's like the big part of why I'm using Linux, honestly, because it's just educational. I'm a person that's open for knowledge, and you know, since I already like technology, this thing's just a win. I get to know my system inside out. I get to know how it's going to be used. I have the comfortability or the peace of mind due to how secure and, you know, privacy oriented this is. So yeah, man, I mean, these are the reasons. And I guess they're more personal than anything else. So I believe that anybody who switches from Windows to Linux, they all have their own reasons as to why, but further down the line they'll develop a more personal reason behind all this computing. So anyways, thanks to you, the Linux gamer, for inspiring me to, you know, to just make this video, well, segment. So all you guys that heard me, have a good one, and know that I use Linux, and I will make an official video, I guess maybe just touring my system. I don't know, things are still in the works as we speak. So yeah, have a good one. Shalom.